Hey guys, can you hear me? Let me see. Hold on. Testing, testing. Okay, I think you can hear me. Let me just. Hey guys, can you hear me? I can hear myself. Okay. Hey, how's it going, guys? Haven't streamed in a little while, but I'm back, and God, I fucking hate streaming. I'm so bad at streaming. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, we have Phillip from how do you say it? It's Zaid Comics, and I really like Phillip. I like his last project that he was doing, Magic Cop. It looks super fun. Pablo did the cover, or at least one of the covers. I can't wait to get my copy. I haven't gotten it yet, but they're already shipped and fulfilled and everything, and they're on to their next project, and I don't know much about that one. So I was going to have Mr. Zaid himself, or both of them, twins. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Brothers. They're brothers, yeah. I was thinking brothers, and then thinking, subconsciously my brothers, and I have brothers that are twins, so it's just it's all up in my head. Anyway, I'll give him a call in a second, but I just always feel super focused on the guest when they're on, and I feel right away we gotta when I start the show, we gotta smooth into it, you know what I mean? Just get a little cozy, let me get into the groove. So yeah, how are you guys doing? How is everything? Yeah? Okay. Maybe we'll give him a call. Let's see. Hey, are you ready? Just give it a call. We are live. God, I'm such a terrible streamer. Fucking hell. It's funny, he was just Skype? Answer the phone. Hello?
Hey!
Hey! Okay.
What's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think it sounds good. Let's, let me just change graphics, and it has you all giants right now, so let me change that. Hold on a second. There's always something to do,
Yeah, for sure.
No matter how much prepared I am. Yeah, I know, you're giant. I gotta fix you. I think that looks better.
That's awesome.
Looks better.
Now, I love these graphics.
Thanks.
It's very unique to your show. I saw it the last time you had Ben on.
Yeah.
It was just you, and then he would talk, and he was up there. That was awesome. I really dig that.
Yeah, I had these graphics from last year or something, and I have them for interviews.
Yeah.
And I forgot about using that for some reason. It's already installed in my OBS, but yeah, I was why haven't I been using the interview cool aesthetic? Come on. Yeah, no, thanks. Let me make sure and see what they're saying, if it all sounds good. We all sound good, right, guys? Everything? Okay. They'll let me know if there's an issue with anything, but
yeah, hail the chat.
Yeah, hail chat. Okay, people in England, it's a bit late for them. The nation state is heading off to bed. He has to get up for work and stuff. Catch it another time. Chill. Not
chill
live, I guess. Let's watch it later or something. That's what the UK audience does. But anyway, nice room. Let me show it off in the without me in the picture. There we go.
Oh no! Everybody gets to see my room. Now this is a woman's dream for sure. A room like this. We got statues. Statues of Swamp Thing.
Wow.
We got Hellboy bottles of Hellboy cinnamon whiskey, which I didn't drink. Yeah, lots of comic books.
Hellboy whiskey. Okay. Oh no, did I lose you? Shit. Oh, okay. Also, yeah, that was I think it was a little bit glitchy on my Skype. Also, I just wanted to let people know that before we got on, it was thunderstorming. It's not anymore, so I think we'll be okay. But I'm out here in the middle of nowhere because apparently it was thunderstorming and the power glitched on and off a few times, shutting down, forcing the computer to shut down. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen on stream, but it stopped thunderstorming, so I think that's a good sign. But yeah, if we just cut out for no reason, that's what happened, guys. Okay, I guess we'll try to come on. I feel like it happens recently, soon, but if it happens in an hour or two, I'm over it. Bye, guys.
We got some of my buddies in the chat. We got John Joseph Ball in the chat. He's one of the amazing artists on the Lost Pages. He did the art for Superhero, which I just got. Joe Ball, great artist. He wanted me to say that.
Oh yeah, Joe Ball. Okay, yeah, I think I saw him on Twitter. Amazing work.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. And I know you love Mike Turner. He's a huge Mike Turner fan as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, you guys got something in common.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, nice to see you guys in the chat. Yeah, let's see who's in here. Matias is always great. A Miami Vice fan. That's neat. Yeah, that's what your last project
yeah, check this out.
Reminds me of. Here, hold on, let me.
So this is one of the last copies of Magic. We had this, framed it up a little bit. Kind of, it's our first graphic novel we put out together, my brother and I. So proud of it. We shipped it all out. You guys can still get the digital copies because we're out of physical copies.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we sold out of those, and we just sold another digital copy, I think, yesterday. But yeah, it was so fun working with Pablo on the cover.
Yeah.
We're gonna have him do the second book cover as well because we just love his art so much. He just kills it on that 80s style. And my brother is currently working on the pages. He's getting a head start. He's done with the first 7 pages right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's definitely after my ordeal being so late with all my bullshit. I intend on the next time to just have most of it done before I even start the campaign, so I don't deal with this shit again. But yeah,
well, it's a learning process, It was our first campaign, and learning from that, we kind of want to have the leg up for this stuff coming out in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you guys nailed it. And it was you didn't even raise as much money as I did, and you guys just nailed it. It's boom, boom, here you go, did it. Damn. Good job.
We had the luxury. We did the luxury of, it was basically just myself as the writer, my brother as the artist, so we didn't really need to pay anybody else besides the colorist.
Right.
So, definitely doing this book, The Lost Pages, where it's me writing everything and I'm working with multiple artists, kind of being that band manager. It could be hectic, but I'm working with a great team, keeping the wheels turning and everything. But this one is a much bigger project. It costs much more to produce because we're paying other artists and such, like you were.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll get into that. I'd just like to warm the audience up a little bit because it's long stream. It's kind of what I'm doing for work right now, so we got to do a little bit of shilling. We're definitely shilling for the book, The Lost Pages, and the link is in the description. And Jay and everyone, I think they've been sharing the Indiegogo link there, but it's in the description as well. And guys, don't forget, I know it's an interview stream, but you can always still contribute to the super chats, which actually I think someone did, and I don't have. See, there's always something that I didn't do, and I didn't add the Streamlabs graphics, the widgets and stuff, on the interview.
Oh, the overlay, yeah.
Yeah, on the interview graphics on the OBS. So I heard it going off, but it didn't go off on the screen. I got to sort that out. But it's Fuck Google too, $5. Hey, what's up, buddy? Says, looking forward to your comic, Martina. Best of luck, Sade Comics.
Hail.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm excited. But yeah, let's get back into it.
I'm super excited for Lady Alchemy. I'm so glad that you have this new artist. He's kicking ass. I love it. It's capturing. It's and then I heard you on a couple months ago talking about the whole rituals that the other troupe is doing. Really cool concepts, and seeing that in the pages is blowing my mind. So I'm glad that I'm a backer of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean,
And
I think even given all the troubles, it was worth it because then I wouldn't have come to this team the way that I have. I would have never
yeah,
found them. So I'm actually genuinely really happy with the way it's going. And I think it's totally your aesthetic and stuff too. You know, we
yeah,
got that like neon, cool, edgy. Like you got. I know. I can see by
for sure.
Magic Cop. That's why I was like, I love it, and the fact that you love Pablo. I think we got the aesthetic. My husband said in a chat, I don't know who this dude is on stream, but who this dude is on stream, but uh, but I like his hair.
Oh, hey, oh, brother. Yeah, I just got a haircut yesterday. It was actually much longer than this,
Oh
and
wow.
I was growing it out, but I think it's like kind of too short now. But it'll get there. Hair grows
Yeah.
back, right?
Okay, so anyway, we are here to shill a bit. Oh shit, one more shilling for me to, yeah, thank you for the Streamlabs. There's a super chat, help me out. This is what I'm doing right now. Help me fight those fucking bitches. I should do a stream on that about, like, this gig that I just recently lost. They were just like, because
Oh
of the
no.
things you have said in the past. Well, I was like, what did I say? Like, okay, I guess I'm like anti Black Lives Matter. It's like, not like anti, but like I see through the bullshit. So that would be enough to anyway.
The
But
truth is
my
out there.
yeah, but my point is that like it's still difficult for me. So I am just doing the streaming. You could always do the Streamlabs or whatever, the super chats. And if you cannot financially contribute, that's okay. You could also vote for me for this maximum competition. There's a few more hours left. Just do the
It's
free
true.
votes, vote free. Only a few more hours left to make this last round, and then that'll like bring me to the finalist round. So super important that we do it today. You can always contribute that way. And also, if you can contribute financially to the lost pages, you can always share the link and tweet it out and whatever.
Helps a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So this is part of the culture war, guys, that we're talking about. We have to like help pump shit out for each other instead of just complaining about the left or what's going on in the riots or whatever. Let's just help build culture and spread things around. But anyway, we are here to discuss. What is it? I'm just such a boomer with shit. Where did it go?
No, I totally agree. Like CG is all
There we
about
go.
supporting each other
Yeah.
as well, and that's what this is all about. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't have the biggest like freaking channel or profile or whatever, but there is a little community we got going on in my
For sure.
streams. It's fun. It's fun. There's a little bit of some Comsgate people. There's a little bit of just some fine arts people. And I mean, there's Blake, and there's a dancer. He does like, not classical. I mean, contemporary dance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shit! They're just looking at the campaign while I'm like talking. Anyway, I mean, just very different artists. So that's always great, and everyone's hungry for some sort of community outside of the mainstream. What's going on? So they're excited to see all these different stuff, and we've definitely tuned some people in that aren't into comics into what's going on with comics and Comicsgate, and that there's a whole scene here. So it's very exciting. Get involved. But
Yeah.
tell me what we have going on here. So I have up on the screen your Indiegogo campaign.
Sweet. You see that? Yeah. Yeah. The Lost Pages. So this is kind of the first book in our
shit. Sorry about that. I muted myself because my cat was making noise while you were talking.
Yeah.
It would have been distracting. Anyway, yeah, so what you're saying is we have this, like, hobo who found this mysterious book in a trash fire or something? Or...
Well, he has the book.
And they're having a trash fire, and they're reading it.
Right, so he reads these stories to people that are, like, passing by, or other homeless people. And as he reads them, the reader gets a glimpse into those times and those worlds.
So all the little stories that he's reading from this little hobo trash fire are all these different characters, like this silhouette that we have here. That looks really awesome. So this is a very, like... I love this art style, too. Is it, like, similar to, like, what Sin City is? Like, is that, like, a particular art style, I think, right?
Yeah, sure. So, you'll see this a lot with Frank Miller's work when he did Sin City. He loves messing with that void of darkness, right?
The negative space.
Lights. Yeah, negative space, exactly. Thank you. So Maxie is just nailing it on the art for the silhouette, and that story is actually the only black and white story in the book. There's black, white, and red for the blood in there. So he's that. Like a very different character from the rest of them. We're trying to keep them as eclectic as possible. So he sees things in black and white. So, for lack of a better term, and literally too, if you are a bad person, then there's no hope for you. But he is the one in his city that is there to protect the small percentage of innocence that is left in there. And this story is him walking through the city late at night when he, like 3 a.m, and just looking at how disgusting the city is. And he sees prostitution and corrupt cops and drug dealers and stuff like that. And then he finds some innocence to save in there.
Well, I'm a little bummed out after reading the comments because, I pulled that really stupid boomer maneuver of muting the mic because of the cat, and then I retardedly forgot that your audio is actually being picked up off of the mic and the computer. So not only they lost all that shit you were talking about when I hit mute. It was only for a few minutes, but... if you can remember what we were talking about, or the chat can remind us, what the last thing that, when he got cut off, what he was saying, because we had a really good conversation. It was being a really good stream, but fuck that up. I'm muting you.
I think it was just me talking about the story about the hobo having the Book of Lost pages, and in that
let's
book...
start from the beginning, I guess, a little bit, if you don't mind. But that's, what, that's part of, like, my favorite parts. I told my writer on this, too. It was like, my favorite parts are, like, the beginning of stories, like, creating that world. And a good story definitely, like, just gets you right in there, and it's just, like, exciting. And I love it. So far, it's definitely catching me. I wasn't sure what these, what your new projects were about, but I really liked, like, the last one. I was like, oh, okay, it's a different vibe. Let's see what's going on. And I'm impressed right away. So we have, like, let's go back to it. This hobo, let me find the right tab. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Excuse me.
Yeah, so the hobo is kind of our narrator, right? He strings the tales together, and in between these stories, we'll see him telling the tales. And when he's reading from the book, we're going to get glimpses into these different, tales of these heroes that all consist in the same world, kind of building our universe of heroes, from different walks of life. The cool thing is, each story is told differently. Each character has a different theme. They're, from a different time frame or part of the world, and eventually they'll come together to write the end of the world.
Oh, they all come together, all the little stories?
Yeah, so this is just the start of a series.
That's so awesome.
The baseline, introducing the characters, and the next book will have them in it as well. More characters will be introduced, and there's going to be stories where they team up, they fight side by side. For sure, we're trying to build a big universe like your heavy
This
Marvel
is
and
really
DC stuff.
exciting. It's really cool, actually. So just to reiterate for people with the sound on, I think double check in the comments. Yeah. So I mean, is this like page one, right? You would say?
So, yeah, this is basically. I put this up here because it kind of encapsulates everything that's going on. It's not the first page,
Okay.
but this is like
Right.
you get to see all the heroes that are going to be in the book. Some that are kind of like Easter eggs for some upcoming stories as well.
But I like this.
But
I like this format of. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the Princess Bride type thing, where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some like a framework story. I think it's called like a story within a story. So
Yeah.
I like this concept of someone, this in this case a hobo reading this book, and that's where you can open up and you see like all these different characters. And those are the lost tales, and like just little individual stories going on. For example, the silhouette, which we were saying, and I think this is when we possibly got volume again. The artwork on this is very like Sin City vibe, which I love. I'm not trying to be like mainstream
Sin
about
City.
it, but yeah, like it's
Yeah.
a really cool aesthetic, and with that little hint of red with black and white is so cool, and I just love the jagged strokes, the use of the negative space. This is just really cool. I love that shot. But yeah, that's just one story within the lost
Lost
pages.
Pages.
And then we have this another one. So are these are all different artists for the little mini stories, right?
Right. Yeah. The next one is drawn by Joe Ball, who is in the chat.
Oh, he's in the chat. Great.
Yeah.
So
There's
how
awesome
many
detail.
pages is each of the mini tales?
So the whole book is 60 pages,
Wow.
but the stories in them consist of around 12 to 14 pages, short stories in there. But it is all one story because things happen with the hobo in his time frame. You get to see what is going on in his head and why he is there, why he has the book. So it's all one lucrative story, and that was kind of like the challenge, right? I had all these characters and I had to kind of Tetris them together in a palatable story and page count,
Right.
where we could get it across that this is all one universe. Yeah, so I think you'll like this character, Wildcard. He's an ancient mage from Merlin times.
Wait, which one? The pirate one or the
Yeah, the pirate
okay.
one.
Okay, yeah, great. Let's get into this guy. Yeah, Wildcard.
Yeah.
Got it.
He's so cool. So he is an ancient sorcerer from Merlin times. He was an apprentice to Merlin. He's also an alchemist.
Ooh.
So I'm so excited for that. And the cool thing about him is he is ageless. So he lives throughout decades.
Same.
So, yeah, same. Of course. And, so in this specific story, he's in like the 1600s, at the height of piracy. He happens to be a captain of a pirate ship sailing past the coast of the Mediterranean, and on the shore are these beautiful women
I see that.
sing out and hypnotize his crew. The crew turns on him. He's got to fight them, and the beautiful women turn into these horrific siren birds that fly up and try to eat his guys. So he's not having the best day. He fights skeleton pirates in this one, so it's very much an adventure. Lots of magic because he's a mage. And the cool thing about this one that isn't like any other story in the book is there's almost no dialogue, and it's set to a poem about sirens. So all the narration boxes are the homeless man, the hobo, is telling this poem as we see this action happening throughout the story.
I love it. Yeah, I love that type of storytelling. And that artwork is just, I want to like zoom in a bit because there's a lot of details.
So detailed.
I don't know if it's going to work with this. Let me try. Hold on. Yeah, no, I think it just made the perks bigger, and that's it.
I think if you right-click on the picture, and then you can do open a new tab, and then go over to that tab, and it'll be bigger. If you really want to zoom in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does work. Cool. Yeah, see, look at that on the screen. That looks cool.
Yeah. That detail.
I mean, I guess I'm learning line work, right? Is just pretty intense there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's a lot of people are kind of scared to color Joe's work because there's so many lines on it.
Right.
So he's gone through a lot of different colorists through his other stories. But this colorist is actually the colorist we used for Magic Up. He's just really versatile, very flexible in his color work, and
That's awesome.
he's just killing it on Joe's work.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Yeah, the coloring looks good too. That's what I'm dealing with right now. Currently, is like solidifying that colorist, and I really like the one I'm currently working with, and I think going to be working with. And it definitely, I wanted the coloring aspect of it to give it that little bit of like weirdness. Yeah. You know? So I was like, don't do typical comic book. I was like, be weird with it. And the guy is like weird already. Like he totally gets the weird. So I'm just like, yay, that's exciting.
Cool.
But anyway, I made a mistake before I got on stream, which was drink some iced coffee. And that's a huge mistake for me because that means I will have to go to the bathroom nonstop. So you may have to take over for me at some point just so I can run off, and you can just talk away. But I am going to bring it back to this for a segment before I run off, and maybe zoom in on another picture of Mr. Balls. Did I just say that?
Mr. Balls. Great job.
Sorry. Shit. I forgot his first name and I just went for Mr. Ball. Joe. There we go. Alright, yeah, so this is like the sexy babes I saw in the corner there, over there, and there's like some eyes I see in another creature.
Yeah, so the sirens, I love mythology, and this is a character where I get to explore a lot of mythology and like the darker side of it, kind of like horror-esque. So the sirens are horrific. They're originally these three beautiful sisters that were friends of Persephone.
Oh yeah,
the daughter
of Demeter. Yeah.
And Persephone goes down to the underworld and kind of is tricked by Hades in marrying him.
Right.
She has to live there. So Demeter is pissed off, right? Pissed off at Hades and pissed off at the sirens because they're supposed to be the protectors of her. So she's so mad at the sirens, she turns them into these horrific bird women and casts them onto an island. So in my mind, so that's the mythology of it. In my mind, they hate Hades because they led them to be separated from their best friends, and now they're hideous. So they're kind of like they hate all men. So they take their anger out on the sailors that pass them by.
Those feminists.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Thanks. I love their designs. It's so gross.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was looking for, in my book, too, I definitely have demonic forces, and I was trying to think of a way to portray that in the weird, artsy, strange, but beautiful kind of weird way. And I have a few ideas. About how to portray it in a weird way. But yeah, it's cool. Fun. It's fun to think about and like research and be like, now what's weird?
Yeah.
How do I make this?
There's a lot of weird stuff in mythology, so.
Yeah, I love mythology too. All right, cool. Where are we at here? Now, I want to maybe try to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to miss anything you say. So maybe you can just go through some of the perks. That's true. Just have the door open. I mean, maybe you can go through the perks or something in depth of what we already talked about, or what's going on with you, or your background, or whatever, or the perks. And I will be right back, like 2 seconds.
All right. I'm here. All right, so thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you guys don't know really about me, I'm the writer of this. I wrote Magic Cop as well. Been in Comicsgate for, man, it's over a year now, maybe a year and a half, doing Magic Cop, and that campaign went well. It's awesome how much it raised. We raised $13,700, and that was on our first campaign. And this campaign raised more in a day than what Magic Cop made in 2 months, which is wild. And in the first 2 months of our campaign, when we closed out the campaign, it raised $4,700, and we crushed that. We made $7,000 in the first day on the Lost Pages, which really shows, Comicsgate is a thing. If you deliver your book, then the community, and you deliver a book, it's a good product, the community is going to repay you for it because they kind of become a fan of yours. Who knew putting out a good product is going to be worth it? So definitely people that are getting into this, yeah, top things.
All right.
I hear the squeaking.
Perfect timing. Yeah, that was my squeaky door. I have like the squeakiest apartment. And actually, I could kind of hear everything you were saying.
Oh, sweet.
Ooh, getting a little bit hot though.
Good ears. Good ears.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's get back into the campaign. I take forever. I'm super slow, but it's good to be a little bit thorough. And it's really interesting. I had no idea about what this book was about, this campaign was about, and now it's like,
I like going into these things kind of like with fresh eyes as well. If I have someone on my channel, I like them telling me about it and learning about it from the creator.
Right.
So I totally get that.
All right, and then we have... Ooh, that's really zoomed in. Hold on.
Yeah, this next one is a character named Crimstone. So if you love 90s comics, this is going to be the story for you. I'm a huge 90s comics fan. I'm a huge fan of Lobo and characters like ultra-violent, bombastic, wacky, psycho characters. So I needed a character like that. And, all these characters we created years ago. And this artist here, Maria, she is an amazing artist from over by me in Chicago. I met her at a convention, and she just draws the craziest muscular guys ever. And it's insane because she's like this 5-foot little, Native American Mexican girl that's super friendly and will talk to anybody, but her art is just
she's like,
savage.
Masculine men.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And no, she loves it, and I just love the detail of her work on here.
Yeah.
So I kind of, the concept for this character is that over-the-top monstrous beast, but it is the imaginary friend of this girl. So in this story, you get to see her as a young girl with this kind of like young imaginary friend version of this monster named Krim, and they were best friends. He was her rock. That basically her childhood coping mechanism was this wacky imaginary friend named Krim. And as she grew up, she forgot about him. He faded away to the back of her mind. And all those years, he was still around in her head battling these monsters. So if you see like the next page of art there, you'll see him as a little guy being harassed by this like mental monster in her head, and then he has to fight back. And through fighting back, he becomes this jacked beast of an imaginary friend and comes back to her when she's in her late 20s. So look at that. Yeah. Cool. So he's basically saying, yeah, all those years I was fighting to save both of our lives from these crazy monsters in your head. So she has her inner demons she has to deal with. And now that he's back in her life, they become, this kind of crime-fighting duo, except no one else could see him but her.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just having demons to battle just reminds me of Negretto, in alchemy. Coming face to face with your demons and, take that next step. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something a lot of people can relate to, too. Is just like, having something like these demons that you're battling. I mean, everyone has that. And then to turn it into something like visually comic booky and like superhero-y in a way. It's like, damn, how'd you take mental demons and make them a superhero duo?
Yeah, so the way we do like the action in this story is really cool too. So like the next page that we show on the campaign is Krim fighting in this like cage match fight. But in reality, she's fighting, right? Mm-hmm. Just in her mind, she sees her imaginary friend kicking ass. So it's really fun because he's got these big glowing tattoos that I just imagine when
cool.
he gets. Yeah, thanks. It just the colors pop in this one. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like explained to the colors when the action's happening, he's like kind of like going into beast mode. So it's as if a black light turns on and his tattoos start glowing. His smoke hair is kind of like a more vibrant color. The blood is over dramatic and neon colored. Just a lot of awesome 90s ultra violent fun in there.
That looks pretty aesthetic. I like it. Oh my god, I'm just such a bad host. I'm like, nice. It looks good. I like it.
No, I know, Martina. The art is just so amazing. It's leaving you breathless.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Word.
Plus everything you're saying and how you're explaining what the characters are in this story, it's just, it's processing. So I'm just looking at it and just thinking about what you're saying. And, again, here we are again. Didn't know what this book was about. And then every time we get to a new story, it's like, okay, what's this? And you explain it and it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, so again, another little mini story and you get kind of roped in. And like you said, they kind of come together at some point too, which will be really interesting to see how that happens.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. Like this book is like a love letter to comics. Cool. If you like any aspect of comics, there's going to be something in it for you. Whether it's big action, black and white noir stuff. Mm-hmm. There's even some like definitely some sexy lady stuff. In our next story, the masquerade.
Yay.
There's a super sexy lounge singer who's kind of the girlfriend of the masquerades because he's a theater actor and. Yeah, that one's totally based in the 1930s, so it has a totally different aesthetic, and the secret identity of that character, the Masquerade, is this theater actor, like socialite. So really like the throwback to that golden age of comics, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
really awesome.
So much blast, such a blast to write all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm just getting really pumped, man. We have to have another comic book buddy. That I just feel like really excited to have this little community. Like, I totally dig it. I think it's really fun. I can't wait to have you see Lady Alchemy too, finally.
I'm so excited about it. That was really pumped to back. I mean, I backed that before Magic Cup even came out.
Wow.
And to see the new art on it, it's so cool. And it's all about the like you said, the community, the network. Like, I would not have been able to make the Lost Pages the way it is now without CG because I wouldn't have known Joe to do the art on it, or Alan, who's doing the Masquerade art. Like, all these people that I'm working with are awesome friends of mine now because of Twitter and CG. Yeah. We got Pablo in the chat. Who's awesome.
Yeah.
And, he's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not even like, oh, okay, we're like in some clique or whatever, but I'm just excited because I genuinely love it. It looks good. The story's really cool. The Lost Books, excuse me, what is it? The Lost Pages. Mine's a book. Mutus Liber is a book. You have the Lost Pages. Yeah, I mean, it looks really good, and I'm just like genuinely pumped about it. Like, the story's really good idea, and yeah, like you said, like, it's a really good idea to have all these different little artist things too, as long as you can trust them, because I've had bad experiences with artists, so I got freaked out to do anything collaborative. You never
For
know
sure.
with people, but this looks really professional and really legit. I've also had this idea for this like a little Lady Alchemy thing where it's kind of like mini books, but not like compiled like this, but just like a 6-page book or something of Lady Alchemy's performances in the book. So instead of like it being like the 2-page spread to portray like her performance, you can like actually do it in like a spread and have like a little mini book of like little performances and have them like collector's pieces.
That's an awesome idea. A lot of people do that at conventions. They'll do like 6-page little zines. Artists will do that a lot of the time if they're for like IPs that they can't get the licenses for. So there's this artist named Daniel Warren Johnson who did this little, I think it was like 8-page Star Wars book, and he gives them away for free because he can't sell them because he's Star Wars, right? But if you went to cons or had those things as add-ons, they would be perfect. Little performances. I think that's a cool art thing, and a cool thing to do since you're like the creator / writer is you could hire just like awesome artists to do 6 pages in their style and get a totally different take on Lady Alchemy.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Yeah, because there was also another artist that I really liked that had that like Top Cow kind of look.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I want to do something with them too. And then so when this concept of the mini books came out, it's an opportunity to, like you say, work with amazing artists. And you know what? It's a better opportunity to work with really good artists because a lot of the times, people doing like a full book, 40-page book, 60-page book is a huge commitment, so not a lot of these great artists can really commit to the 40 pages. So to have them just do a little mini thing for fun and be as weird as you want, be as creative as you want.
Right. And you could even, Ace in the chat says do them as ash cans, which, a little small size like this. This is our Magic Hop ash can that we put out. Yeah, and short pages. I think that's super fun.
Oh wait, let me see the ash can again. Let me move you to the. Okay, you did it. Cool. I was gonna do the whole screen, but you did it.
Yeah.
No, and
good idea.
And the thing is, it's also I wanted something that was like immersive, so I just love the different layers of it being like. I don't know, I am Lady Alchemy, so it's like I actually had these performances, so it's kind of cool because it's like I could now, since I'm like blacklisted, do my performances. Oh, hi, Kat. I'm doing something here. I can now live out those performances on the pages, since I can't do it in person anymore, and it can be interactive with the audience. It's not just the readers. Sorry, I'm used to performing audience. The readers, it can be a little interacting too, because it's not just a random card or figurine or just those comic booky things, which is fine. I don't have anything against it, but I wanted something that's not just another toy or card or whatever, just something that actually fits for Lady Alchemy. Kind of like the honeycomb box is a good idea, because it's just it just kind of has this immersive thing about it being a honeycomb,
Sure.
And
what would be really cool for Lady Alchemy? You do a performance book, and this could be for a different campaign with a higher stretch goal or something, where you make it a small flip book, where you flip through it and you see her moving and actually dancing. Make it cool. I don't know how many pages it would have to be to do a full performance. But a little animated flip book of that character doing a performance. I think that'd be
that's true.
Sick.
It's an interesting way to. There's more in Lady Alchemy. Sorry, we'll get back to your campaign. I'm sorry to talk about my stuff. There's more to Lady Alchemy than performing that gets into some alchemy and weird stuff. But the performing stuff is really exciting too, as this kind of cool side job that she does, and I forgot what I was gonna say about that. I start thinking ahead too far, then I like lose what like we're talking about. It's like this really weird OCD thing. I don't know. Is that OCD?
Okay.
Is it like ADHD or some shit where I'm just like
I
jumping
think it's
over
my
here?
new haircut. It's distracting. Okay.
Probably. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? I'm excited to hear about the next story. So let's see. What's the next one? This guy, the Masquerade.
Yeah,
You
the
were just telling me
Masquerade
about that.
is so cool. He's a throwback character, like to the golden age pulp heroes. So he's based in the 1930s. Takes place in 1930 Chicago. There's mobsters in this story, and the cool thing about the Masquerade is he's obsessed with theater and the dramatics.
Yes.
So he speaks in Shakespearean language, in iambic pentameter,
Oh my God.
to kind of like mock his enemies.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, he's super fun, and his secret identity, his name is Easton Carlisle. He is a theater actor, and we'll see that side of his life as well. So much like Lady Alchemy, he's a performer as well. And we see a glimpse into that part of his life with his girlfriend, and yeah, he's just so fun. He's a master of disguise. He could take the form of anyone. The art is just off the chain. It totally is like that Batman animated series, Bruce Timm vibe, or like the old Dick Tracy is what we're trying to go for. It's done by one guy, too. He does the digital pencils, inks, and colors.
Wow.
Alan Alonso. Yeah, he's killing it on this.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one. I love the... oh, that's what my point was. See, I always get back to my point, too, whenever I lose it. But I was going to say about... It's fun to figure out how to show movement. I was saying that Lady Alchemy is not just all about performing, but what's fun about the performances is trying to use still images to portray movement. And this reminded me of my point, because it's really fun to experiment with that. Like you said, there's the flip book, or, you know, the 6-page mini book, or 2 pages, you know, in the official book, or 1 page. Well, yeah, my page is similar to this. It's 1 page of just movement, and it's really fun to experiment with that. Look at that page. Cool.
Yeah, so cool. Like, I really wanted this image in here because I feel like it's very striking. It's kind of iconic, that action that's happening. But I was worried. I'm like, how are we going to make this happen?
Yeah.
So in my script, references to like movies, because we've seen people block bullets with a sword before in movies. But in comics, I've never really seen that. But Alan just totally nailed it. He was able, since he does the colors as well, to do those fades of the arms and stuff like that, make them translucent. I'm just blown away by this. I'm so glad to be working with him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, man. Getting that movement is cool. Oh, yeah, and these are definitely like these wise guys over here.
Yeah, for sure, the mobsters.
Some wise guys. Okay, let's see. Do we have...
So
okay. Ooh, I see a chick in this one. Okay. Oh, these are a trading card.
Yeah, so the cool thing about our campaign is we got through a bunch of stretch goals, right? We're so fortunate. Thank you, everyone who backed us already. So we unlocked trading cards for each of the characters drawn by other amazing artists. So this is the Masquerade trading card drawn by Passion for Drawing, who does an awesome book called Doom Fate. You guys should check that out as well. And this is everybody that backs the physical book is going to get one of these trading cards colored up like this. And then we also have the original inks for sale on the campaign page as well, if you guys want to pick those up.
Cool.
So we're just trying to give back as much as we can to the backers. You know, for each character that we have in the book, you're going to get a little trading card that represents them, gives them a little bio as well.
Okay, no, this is a bonus comic. This isn't trading cards. Okay, wait. So what did you say about the cards? There's how many with each purchase of the book?
So with every physical backer, you're gonna get a card for each of the heroes.
Wow. Okay, cool.
So, I mean, that's a lot of cards. And the cool thing when we get into the bonus comic is that bonus comic is a whole other comic that has 4-page short stories for each character. And when we hit different stretch goals, we're going to unlock new characters, like first appearances of those stories. And with those characters, you get more trading cards. So we've unlocked, I think, 3 extra stories in that bonus comic. So this is kind of like that, what you were saying, like that honeycomb box thing, where it's kind of like a subscription to the campaign. If you get the bonus comic, which is the $50 tier, or you can add it on to any tier, it comes with both books, and that bonus comic grows as we grow in funding. We have we're able to bring on even more artists, guys like Kyung Lee, who did Battlemade and Knuckle Bomb, Sim, who did the book Blood Hunt. So we're working with a star-studded cast for sure on here.
That's amazing.
My brother's doing a that character named the Pianist, so she's a sexy assassin chick.
Yeah, I saw when I scrolled down a little bit. We'll get to that. What's going on there? But yeah, I mean, you said you met everyone through Comicsgate, Twitter. How did you? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I can totally talk about that because before I got into Comicsgate, it was very difficult to kind of find an artist that was reliable.
Right.
And it stunk. I some artists, paying them up front and not getting anything. So it was very hard to get my name out there, to get my writing out there as well. But then I found, Ethan and CG, and my brother and I are just like, screw it, let's do a book together so we don't have to rely on an artist.
Right.
We did Magic Up. And through that, and that gaining momentum, getting some fans, building up, networking basically, because doing all these shows, it's networking. You're getting FaceTime with other creators and, promoters. So we met a bunch of awesome artists, and fortunately people know us now, and we have kind of a reputation of delivering our stuff and on time and quality stuff. So we have buddies that are great artists that we could work with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's awesome. Even though with CG you get some flack, I've lost, colorists because I was CG. I've lost friends who won't, even though they loved Magic Hop, they're like, oh, this is so cool. Keep me updated on stuff. And I would send them art, and then they're like, I can't support a comic that, hates.
Wow.
It's very hateful and supports a network of hating diversity and stuff like that.
So, I mean, according to your room, I guess you're a big comic book person before CG. So that's what you're saying. You're like involved in the community a bit, like already. And have you made a comic book before?
No. So I was just a fan. I've always been a writer. Right? I love writing. But actually, the first comic that I've ever made, I made with my brother back in 2012 or 2013, and it was that character, the Silhouette. He was the first character we ever came up with. Okay. I actually have one of the old comics right here. And this wasn't drawn. It was actually pictures of myself and my friends photoshopped to make it look like a comic. And this is from 2014.
Oh my god!
So the Silhouette and all these characters from the Lost Pages have been with us for a really long time. So that's why this project means so much to us, to actually getting back to these characters. And I was right out of high school at this point.
Wow.
Doing this stuff. So it's been a while, and that was the only it was very amateur, but we went to small conventions and nothing really came of it because I went to college and we took a break from it. But all the whole time I was writing stories about the Silhouette and Wildcard and stuff, hoping to get back to comics. And we went into Magic Hop and stuff like that. But
it's amazing.
Yeah, CG helped us out a lot.
Yeah, okay, Jay has been doing a good job in the chat, better than me. I'm terrible at this. I'm a terrible streamer,
Thank you, Jay.
guys. But yeah, he's given the Twitter, the Indiegogo campaign. Go check it out. Some of you guys are probably already supporting and love Phil. I'm here to just see what's up. And then some of you guys don't know any of this shit and maybe find the Lost Pages kind of interesting. Now I'm interested in it. And I wasn't sure I was at first because I was like, no, man, I like the 80s Magic Cop, that Vice City, that's me. And now I'm like, damn, that's a really good story. It actually does remind me a little bit, too, of Lady Alchemy. I mean, I love anything with a book. I love, like, the book aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
More than aesthetic. You know what I mean? How it can take you, just books can bring you into another world, share information. Like, the information that can be shared through a book is just so powerful, and it's just beyond words what, like, a book is, you know? It's strange. It's like a piece of paper with things scribbled on it, but it's powerful what it does in your head. So, yeah, and the Mutus Liber is really, alchemical, esoteric kind of information that teaches Lady Alchemy about stuff. So the Lost Pages also kind of remind me of that. It's like...
Yeah, I love the aesthetic of Lady Alchemy. I feel like the Wild Card and Lady Alchemy are like cut from the same cloth. Very magical. Also, like, the Masquerade is all about storytelling in that sense as well.
Yeah, and the theater thing I noticed on the
card. Do you like Magica? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. I think Skype is... I think there's a little delay on Skype, so I'm sorry. I'm not being rude and cutting you off. I think it just kind of messes up a little bit. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was lagging. What were you saying?
I don't know. I forget. Whatever. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, if you like Magic Cop, there might be a character that crosses over into the Lost Pages.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that for sure. I definitely want to make sure that I get my book out first so that it's like you could trust that it's like a legit thing out there and you like it and you're happy about it. But I could definitely see that working. I was wondering where, but
yeah. Well, I was saying the Magic Cop world and the Lost Pages world are like kind of like different dimensions in the same multiverse. So we might see some characters